Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about why the old playbooks don't work anymore. Clinging on to traditional and outdated methods are just that, clingy and outdated. Today we're going to talk about some radical thoughts and how questioning everything that you see around yourself is the best way and sure shot to success. Why are we still doing the same thing that doesn't work anymore? Insanity is just doing the same thing and expecting different results. If you're still following the same rules of buyer journey, you're completely mistaken. The rules have changed and the consumers and the buyers, whether it's B2B or B2C, make the decision entirely different. Most of you might even be thinking like personalization and automation are optional extras, but not anymore. So in this video, we're going to question most widely accepted rules of yesterday and why they don't work anymore and how you can do the course correction. So stay with me till the end of the videos and you might have some thought-provoking ideas by the end of this video. I'll exactly show you why they are failing today and what you need to do to course correct. And the hope is by the end of this video, you will be ready to disrupt the status quo. Let's begin. Let's start with one of the biggest myths in the B2B world, and this is something that I have also addressed in my another playlist, B2B marketing fallacies. The biggest myth is that the buyer journey is linear. We are all taught how it is awareness, consideration and decision. How buyers move through each stages and how we should create content for each buyer stages. But it doesn't work anymore. But people still do it. Why? Because it's easy to do. It's comfortable. It's what we have been taught. And we have never stopped or paused for a second to think how we can do this differently. We haven't looked at the buyer journey. Is the buyer moving linear from awareness, consideration, decision? Doesn't new information come into picture? And don't they have a role in buyer decision? Let's say a buyer is evaluating a software, a CRM software. And while he's evaluating the CRM software, a referral comes in, right? Or the salesperson requests a new feature which is becoming more and more important. So how do you use this information and what role does this information play in the buying journey? So it's not as the new information comes in, the buyers move from awareness to consideration or consideration to awareness or any of that stages, right? Because what was earlier a purchasing factor might have just changed. So buyer journey is never linear. Just make sure that your strategy addresses this biggest myth in the B2B journey. It is actually interesting to know that only 10 to 15% of the buyers actually follow a linear path. According to various research agencies and consulting companies, including Gartner and Forrester and all of that. The truth is 85% of the B2B buyers engage in a non-linear way as new information comes in, as the requirement changes. So make sure that you are not still fixated on a linear path, awareness to consideration to decision, but make sure you are tracking these changes in the buyer journey through your marketing automation software. When you see that a visitor is moving from a pricing to again a feature page or a product tour video, then it means something has changed recently, right? Otherwise, logically, he should go to the next stage in the B2B buyer journey. And your campaign, your communication should address his concerns rather than a prefixed linear path. So here is the biggest takeaway. Create a dynamic journey that maps your buyer's concerns. Here is the second biggest strategic pitfall. Traditional channels don't work anymore. The safe bet is a trap. Don't fix if it ain't broken is a trap. The reliance on traditional channels is a sure shot recipe for failure. We have all been told stick with what works. email, webinar, trade show. But that is a problem, because in today's time, tried and tested methods are rapidly changing. They are no longer relevant. They have become the relics of bygone era. But then why are most marketers still doing it, right? If most of the marketers are still doing it, then it must be working. Not necessarily. The simple reason why most marketers are still doing it is because they are familiar. It is within their comfort zone. They are not challenging the status quo. Traditional channels can no longer capture the attention of the audience. What worked in the past 1 year, 2 year might not work for you anymore. It is important that you experiment and try new channels. If you are using the same channels like everyone else, then you are blending in the same background and leaving growth on the table. And here is what you need to do. Invest 10 to 15% of your budget in experimenting new channels and platforms. And that is the green shoot, if you will, right? To reimagine your channels, to reimagine your growth avenues and surprise your buyers. A lot of B2B companies like HubSpot or Single Grain and all that, you might see that they are investing in podcast and they are investing in interactive dialogues, right? I'm not saying that that's the recipe for success, because that must have already played out, right? Or there might still be some steam left in it. But what is important is that you invest 10% to 15% of your resources on trying new channels, and the hope is that you'll be able to diversify your channel based on where your buyers are. If your buyers are spending time on YouTube, then you should be on YouTube. But if your buyers are spending time on LinkedIn, then you should be there. If your buyers are tired of LinkedIn, if they're complaining about LinkedIn and they're moving out of LinkedIn to something else, then you should be there. You could even target online communities where your buyers hang out, right? Even user-generated content can be a fantastic way in a B2B SaaS and tech marketing. Detailed tear down of your product or tear down of your strategy, tear down of your solution can be very interesting and engaging. Think about one channel that you have been curious about and you wanted to invest but you haven't. Leave that in the comments section. I really want to see the conversation building on new and emerging channels that can create new avenues for growth and success for B2B tech and SaaS marketers. The last one on this list is personalization and automation, and you'll be surprised to know that no one is doing it right. And why do I say that? Most marketers are satisfied by changing the name of the prospect in the email, or by changing the company name, or by dropping the company name in the subject line. But that isn't the true definition of personalization and automation. It doesn't guarantee success, it doesn't guarantee growth. Then why are most marketers still doing it? Same reason, right? It's familiar, it's comfortable, it's not new, and people have become used to it. But it has to change, because most research studies have shown that personalization and tailored experience show growth both in engagement and in revenue. But marketing leaders and marketing teams are still not embracing personalization in the best way. Now let me ask you this. Have you created dynamic segments within your marketing list? I'm not just talking about verticals. I'm not talking about whether you have a list on retail, manufacturing, or BFSI, or I'm not asking about that. I'm not talking about whether you have created a dynamic list of function, right? Whether engineering or sales or marketing. I'm not even talking about the seniority like C-level, VP, and those are gone, right? I'm talking about really delivering personalized experience, tailored experience based on the action that the prospect or the buyer has taken, based on the landing pages that he's visited, based on the videos that he's consumed, based on the blogs that he has shared, based on the website pages that he's visited. If you are not giving a tailored experience, then you are leaving a then you're leaving a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of growth potential that you're really not tapping into. And not just personalization, right? Also automation. How can you use automation to create a very personalized and tailored experience? When somebody subscribes to your blog, when somebody signs up for your newsletter, how do you welcome them? What content do you share? Is it a generic content that you share, or is it very personalized according to the pages that he's visited? Take a moment to think about your current campaign. What is one element that you can personalize to create growth and success? And share these ideas in the comment section. I'm really excited to see what innovative solutions you're cooking up. I would love to hear. Now, those were the 3 strategic pitfalls that I wanted to share with you today. And I really want to tell you that if you're still playing the outdated rules, then you are no longer relevant. You have completely become irrelevant in today's time. So start with these 3 strategic pitfalls that are holding you back. Instead, reimagine your strategy. Embrace a dynamic and a non-linear buyer journey. Experiment boldly with emerging channels and platforms. And leverage hyper-personalization and automation to deliver a meaningful personalized experience. If you're ready to flip on its head, then hit that like button, subscribe, comments, and share it with your peers, because as I always say, we grow as a community of B2B tech marketers. And thanks for watching, and remember, innovation starts with questioning everything. Until next time, cheers.